held it in my hands while he told the story. He had found it in a fallen bunker, a book for notes with all the pages blank. He took it to keep for a sketchbook and diary. He learned years later when he showed the book to an old bookbinder, who paled and stepped back, a long step, and told him what he held. What he had laid the days of his life in. It's bound, the binder said, in human skin. I stood turning it over my hands, turning it in my head. Human skin. What child did the skin fit? What man? What woman? Dragged still full of its flesh, from what dream? Who took it off the meat? Some other one who stayed alive by knowing how to do this. I stared at the changing book and a horror grew. I stared and a horror grew, which is, how beautiful it was, until I knew.
The book written by Miller Williams is a poem about a man who has spent most of his life writing and drawing in this book, and then later, while he was trying to find out information about the book, he found out the book was bound by human skin. So this kind of has two meanings, a literal one and a figurative one. The literal one is just basically, it's a book bound by human skin, it's disgusting, it's grotesque, there's nothing really good about it. The figurative one is the book is life. The book is a symbol for life. So the book being a symbol for life, him going back and taking a deeper look at it, or taking a third person stance, looking at the book, then he sees that life isn't as good as it is. Of course, he's worked his life, he's worked on his life his whole life. And then he looks at it and he's like, some things are not good. But the thing is you can't separate the good and the bad parts of life. It is what it is. So that's basically the main theme of the book, or of the poem. You can see in lines, you can see in the highlighted green versions, he starts to begin his rhetorical questions, and this kind of signals his fast thinking, because he's scared, he's terrified, he's kind of disgusted that he couldn't see this from before. He's like, what child did this skin fit? What man? What woman? His mind is just racing like a mile a minute. And then 2 lines after that, you can see highlighted in the yellow, you can see he begins the rhyming, which this whole poem only has a few rhymes in it. And those rhymes are kind of to slow down the reader so the reader can take a second, and then when it gets to the green part of the rhetorical questions, the reader's mind it's fastly paced, so it kind of just signals the tone change, and it signals his attitude change, and then it signals the attitude change back to his original position, from being calm, collected, to dramatic and sporadic and all of that, and then back to calm and collected. The poem is most likely about a certain book. It may talk about the book's contents or its meaning. Speaker. The speaker is listening to a man talk about a book he had found. The speaker also acts as an audience in this poem and takes the poem further by describing its feelings about the book. Paraphrase. The poem is about a person listening to a man retell a story of himself with this book. He had used the book as a diary and turned out to be made out of human skin. The person listening is enthralled by this fact and contemplates over how the book was made, and how something so horrible yet so beautiful could exist. Figurative devices. The language used in this poem is very descriptive. This helps enhance the meaning of the poem. William uses fallen bunker to describe how the book was lost. In a way, it shows the book was abandoned. He also describes the bookbinder's reaction with a lot of extra detail to show how the effective discovery of the material. This is to highlight the importance of the fact that the book was made of human skin. When the speaker contemplates whose skin it was, this writer uses rich and descriptive language to describe the horror of what had happened to make such a book. Attitude. The narrator's attitude can be seen as confusion. He is confused by how something so beautiful could have such a horrible past. He contemplates how it was made, and if it could still be beautiful even with the flaw of being made of human skin. Shifts. A large shift in the poem is made when the bookbinder reacts to his discovery. His reaction is written over dramatically to get the point across that the fact is important to the story. This is shown in the descriptive segment, who paled and stepped back a long step. This shift is used to change the emotions and thoughts of the book. It is to be perceived as beautiful and mysterious, and is now inhumane and disgusting. This later reinforced when the speaker states how beautiful it was until I knew. Title. The title uses "the" instead of "a" to show how unique and symbolic the book is. It is not like any other book. There is so much deeper meaning associated with it. It is a book of two men's lives. It contains a record of one man's life, but the skin, the essence of another man's life. Having this simple title shows how every aspect of the book is important, and now just one part of it. Theme. The message of the poem is to not take everything for granted. It shows how there is always another story behind everything, and that it is not usually simple. The man who kept the book believed that it was just a beautiful lost book. He was ignorant to what else it could be. The speaker realizes after being told it was made of a human skin that there was a story before the book owner's story. He realizes that there is more to the book and its beauty, and that there is also disgust in achieving the beauty. The poem also shows how important it is to not be ignorant of the object's past and that it already has stories associated with